Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello to you and welcome back to the channel where you join me today for a rather McLaren themed video. We've got a few things to talk about, starting off with the brand new 600LT. Let's take a first look at the new member of the Sports Series, but then I'd like to talk to you more about the future of my garage and whether there could be room for one of these in due course. First up though, the newly introduced McLaren 600LT. LT for Longtail. It's the track-focused version of the Sports Series, the newest member of the family. It's gained some additional aerodynamics, added some more power, shaved away some weight, and no doubt this is going to be a very impressive car. So let's take a first look and run through the headline details, the facts and figures, and check out what the 600LT is going to be like. Then I'd like to talk to you more about the future of my own garage. As you know, I've just announced that I'll be taking delivery of McLaren's ultimate track car for the road, the McLaren Senna, in the early part of next year. But at the end of last year, I teased you that there were going to be 8 cars in total arriving. Some of them are already in the garage, some of them I've announced, some are yet to come. So let's head over to my model car collection later on and run through a little bit of that as well. Let's get straight into the details of the brand new model, the McLaren 600LT. As per their recent naming structure, with the exception of the Ultimate Series McLaren Senna, it represents both the amount of power the car has, as well as a designation for its position in the model series. So in this case, the 600LT, quite literally 600 metric horsepower, that translates to 592 brake horsepower. In both cases, a 30 horsepower uplift from the 570S. The LT stands for Longtail. Now Longtail is an ethos. Although the car is slightly longer than the 570S, by just over 7 centimeters, 74 millimeters to be precise, it is really about the orientation and purpose of the specific model. So here we're talking the road car orientated towards track days and going on the racetrack. The name originated back in the 90s when McLaren took their F1 GT R, and in 1997, to meet the latest homologation standards for the racing series, had to extend it quite literally, quite significantly, to create the F1 GT R Longtail. More recently, the Super Series model, the 650S, spawned its track variant, the 675LT, the car that really awoken the world to McLaren, and now we have the latest member of the LT family, the 570S, that has become the 600LT. So it joins the Sports Series family alongside the 540C, the 570S and 570S Spider, and the 570 GT, the Grand Touring version with the folding rear hatch. But the 600LT is the car that is designed to go on the racetrack. So what makes it appropriate to be taken there? Well, the power. The 3.8 litre twin turbocharged V8 now makes 600 horsepower, up from 570, and 620 newton meters, up from 600. Small gains, but when you combine that with a weight saving of 96 kilos, they've pulled 96 kilos out of this car down to a weight of 1,247. That is almost where the 675LT Coupe came in at 1,238. We're talking a very, very light car with quite a substantial amount of power. And then you bring in the additional aero to that. You can see the extended splitter at the front, the fixed rear wing at the back that has a heat shield due to the repositioning of the exhaust, the most direct exhaust exit from the engine straight out of the rear deck lid, that no doubt at night is going to look very cool when there are some flames popping out of the back of that, as we've seen in McLaren's teasers. The diffuser is incredibly aggressive around the back, the end plate's the shape of it, the use of carbon fibre. A significant amount of the weight savings comes from new body panels in carbon fibre, and the braking system, the lightweight braking system that's taken from the Super Series, the McLaren 720S. But what really differentiates the different series of cars is the use of active aero. The Super Series has active wings, the Sports Series has a fixed wing. The car itself, to me, looks incredibly impressive. In chicane grey, I've always been a fan of the 570S, and this is the same colour that the 675LT Coupe was first launched in. And you have to say, when you look at it, it's going to be an impressive thing to drive, I'm sure. Hopefully I'll get the opportunity in due course. On the inside, you can opt to have the McLaren Senna's bucket seat. This was a new seat over and above the P1's bucket seat that was previously available, already a lightweight carbon fibre seat, but the Senna seat weighs, for the shell, due to its hollow construction, just 3.35 kilos. Including the pads, it's about 8 kilos alone for the seat, which, believe me, is next to nothing. Additional changes to the model that will enhance the driving experience, in addition to the increased power and significant extra aero, are both firmer engine mounts, so you'll feel the rawness of the engine bolted towards the carbon fibre tub just for extra experience, and it also has a quicker steering rack for a more direct turn-in. So the 600LT is not limited in number. It will be built for a period of 12 months in total. No doubt there will be very high demand. Perhaps in the future there will be a Spider variant, unconfirmed at this stage, and it comes in the UK at a base price of £185,500. That's about a £40,000 uplift from the 570S. Now the next question is, would one fit in my garage? And to talk more about this, let's head over to my model car cabinet so I can talk you through it. For those of you who are less familiar with my channel, or just haven't seen this because it's been a while since I shared it, this is my collection of 1:18 scale model replicas of all of the cars that I've actually owned in the real world. So we go from the top shelves with my early cars through to the current garage and even future arrivals down at the bottom, the business end. And this is what I want to talk mostly about because I announced at the end of last year that there were 8 new cars inbound, starting from the AMG GT R. So let's have a run through those. Which ones are still coming? What's cancelled? And what is on the horizon in the future. But just quickly before we do, let me come up to the very top. My Renault Clio and BMW 1 Series are currently away being painted, hence why we've got the Alan Mann Racing Escort up there at the moment. But this is a particularly interesting one, the Glacial Blue Aston Martin V8 Vantage Roadster. Now what's so special about this is they don't actually make a 1:18 scale model of that. This is a coupe model where the model creator has literally cut away the roof, 3D printed some parts, and made it specifically a bespoke one-of-one model. How special is that? Then we come through the next shelves where many of the cars are in the right colours. In some cases there don't exist 1:18 scale models at all for the cars. Believe me, as soon as they're available, I will add them to the collection. The MSO Orion Purple paint mould represents my 675LT Spider, which is relevant to the discussion we can have about the 600LT. And then there's a gap here for the Vantage GT8. There's no model of that car yet either. So when I told you there were 8 new cars inbound, we already knew at that time that one would be the AMG GT R, still to be painted. Here we would have a 911 GT3, still to arrive in the collection, the Focus RS Red Edition, and then there would also be the TVR Griffith. In addition to those 4, you also now know about the Focus RS Heritage Edition. The BMW M5 has arrived too. You already knew the Ford GT was coming, and one car at least was definitely going to be a future surprise. So the Heritage and M5 we didn't include in that 8. So there were actually a few to talk about, and I have actually cancelled a couple of orders recently. I was going to order an Aston Martin Vantage, new generation, but I don't want to sell my GT8. I'd prefer to keep the GT8 for now. I was also going to order a BMW M2 Competition, but I'm not going to be taking delivery of one of those either because Mark, or Schmark, my manager, will be, and will be featuring that on the channel in due course. So that means you know also the Senna is coming beyond, and there is going to be one other in addition to the TVR and the Ford GT. So watch this space in the future. In addition then to that one other car that is due in the future, as you probably know, the BMW M5 is a long-term test car from BMW M, so I'll sadly have to give the keys to that back, but something is going to arrive to replace it later this year, so watch this space. That means before the end of 2018, the M5 replacement will arrive, I'll pick up the Focus RS Heritage, and at the end of the year the Ford GT will arrive, before next year we have the McLaren Senna, the TVR Griffith, and potentially another surprise that I'm not yet ready to tell you, and I'll talk more about why I don't tell you these things too early in due course. So you might notice behind me the poster picture of Ayrton Senna. That's actually a picture that I got when I went to a Senna customers dinner in Melbourne, Australia, ahead of the Melbourne F1 a couple of months ago. This is all part of the secrecy and strangeness behind this, but of course it's not up to me, in many of these cases, to announce new models of cars to you guys before they even go public. When it comes to something like the McLaren Senna, the reason I had to keep it secret, even back when I ordered it under codename P15, was because obviously if I start talking about that and revealing bits of information that isn't yet in the public domain, I'm kind of the person they don't want to sell a car to. So I have to balance carefully what kind of you can know and what you can't know. So I try and give you guys as many insights, believe me, as I'm possibly allowed to. Now, talking of my McLaren Senna, so many questions from you guys. So let's run through this. My car is number 281. That's about halfway through the 500 car build run. That means delivery, it will be built early in 2019, perhaps ready for delivery in February time. Now in the UK, it's beneficial to register a car on the 1st of March, so if I can, that's when it will be registered, ready to go to events and things in March and April, just in time for spring, the better weather, and the car event season. I'll talk more about that as well and what these cars are going to do. In the not too distant future, we'll get to my Spec Lock date, so I'll have to choose the final configuration for the McLaren Senna. There are so many options, many of you have been sending me renders, so I've been trying to see what it would look like as a revival of cerulean blue, a tribute back to my 675LT Coupe. I also think it could look very special in MSO Orion Purple, matching my LT Spider that will stay in the garage. There are obviously plenty of other options. I want to do something very special, so investigating all of the different avenues and options. Now my Spec Lock is still a month or two away, so when the car is finally locked and set in stone, I'll be sure to give you an update video just like I did with the Ford GT to run over the different options so you know exactly what the car is going to look like with some renders of it ahead of its arrival early in 2019. In the immediate future, we actually have some pretty interesting things coming up as well, because the Focus RS, as you know, my red edition, has been away at proto trim, having its entirely new interior fitted. Stay tuned though, because that is step 1. We're also in the next week going to do step 2, which is some carbon fibre components for the exterior, so an overhaul of the car. In addition to that, my AMG GT R has been quite quiet recently, but it's time to bring that back out and finally wrap it yellow. We're going to do something pretty crazy with this, because hey, it's boring to be normal, so let's have some fun with the GTR. In general Shmee 150 news, the shop has been going well, so a big thanks to those of you who have headed over and taken a look at the store. We've been receiving a lot of feedback as to what you'd like to see, but also plenty of requests to relaunch Shmee 150 merchandise. Now behind the scenes, we've been working on this for quite a while, putting together some proper designs and quality products, and those are going to be coming very, very soon, so watch this space. In the meantime, we've added a few more products to the store. From Richings Griffith, we've got the leather document folder and also their leather sunglasses holder, and on those and other products from Richings Griffith and Richbrook, you can now get 15% off using the code RICH15 that you'll find in the description down below, so that includes the car covers I use and the tyre bags as well, plenty more in there, so do have a look. We've also been working with Futurewear to introduce their carbon fibre sunglasses into the store. So literally, carbon arms, very lightweight. You'll find those in the store now in a few different configurations too, but merchandise is going to be launching very, very soon. But back to the question of the day, would I buy a McLaren 600LT as a future member of the garage and the Shmee 150 fleet? Now amusingly, before I revealed the Senna a few days ago, the 600LT was actually the car that most of you guys were suggesting would be the surprise Shmee-mobile. Yes, a few people said Senna, but most said 600LT. I think it's a good looking car, and I'm very sure that to drive it's going to be mind-blowing. The 570S was already great. Add to it more power, more performance, more aero, and Aurora driving experience, and you have to be on to a winning package. I haven't driven one yet, but I look forward to doing so in the future. The thing for me though, is you have to consider the other cars in the garage and weigh up the balance. So the Senna is inbound, and yes, the 600LT might be a better looking car than the Senna, but as track experiences go, nothing that can wear a road legal number plate is going to touch it. It will be capable of blistering lap times, as I experienced at Estoril. Now alongside that in the garage, is my 675LT Spider that I intend to keep a hold of, which to me, after my run through the 12-seater 650, the LT Coupe and the LT Spider, is basically the ultimate road legal supercar experience with the roof down, drama, and just excitement of taking it out on a road trip with some storage. So the 600LT steps on the heels of the 675LT, which is actually from the Super Series above the Sports Series, even if it's the previous generation, and it's a limited car, and it's spec'd completely for me. So if I added a 600LT Coupe, if you're still with me here, we would have 3 twin-turbo V8 McLarens, mid-engine McLarens, in the garage at once, which is all quite similar and repetitive in terms of driving experience, and I'm a big fan of experiencing different brands, different cars, different opportunities, and different types of driving experiences in general. So I don't really think a 600LT makes sense. Maybe when I drive it, my mind is going to change, and maybe by then they're going to be sold out, which would be most unfortunate. But at the moment, I'm not going to lie, I've got a few too many cars going around, and the Senna coming and the Ford GT coming, which means funds need to be reserved for those. So keeping the cars I've got that I enjoy so much is number 1, working towards these very special future cars is number 2. So there we go. I don't think at this stage, maybe in future, I look forward to driving it, but today we've had a first look at the 600LT, talked a bit about the garage and alluded to what's going to be happening in the future. I think the next thing will be the departure of the M5 and the arrival of its replacement. So watch this space, that is coming very, very soon. Anyway, thank you very much as always for watching, guys. I appreciate your support. Do let me know what you'd like to see in the shop in future down below and what you think about the 600LT. But that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Cheers!